This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Oh, isn't that hair fabulous? Broadcasting live from the new hotspot on Fort Myers Beach. Wahoo Willies! It's time for another exciting award-winning episode of Beach Talk Radio. Here are your humble hosts, Kim and Ed Ryan.
So nice. Thank you all for coming here to Wahoo Willies and taking a look at the show. Get off of that. Leave my headphones alone. We get here at 10 o'clock. You got to turn your volume up. Mine is 1, you're 2. I'm number 1, you're number 2. That's how the show works. Now you got to turn your microphone on. There,
what are you, 12?
There you go, dear. Turn your microphone on. Should we start over?
Please, we've had to start over so many times when you can't get this straight. So don't even
Totally
start
organized
with me.
today. Totally
No.
organized. Thank you
Today,
all for coming.
It's only been like 9,000 years.
Your dad is watching. I don't think he appreciates you acting the way you are, treating me the way you
Yeah,
are.
he loves it.
So the first thing we have to talk about before we get to our great guests is we had date night last night. Yeah, that was you should try it every once in a while. Have a date night once a week. Well, we decided that we were going to meet after Kim got off of work at 2 meatballs and a pizza.
Two meatballs in the kitchen.
Okay, 2 meatballs in the kitchen. And, I like to get to where I'm going early. I always like to get to where I'm going early because I don't like to be late. So I got there. We were supposed to meet at 5.
Yes.
I got there at like 4:45. And
I got there pretty. I was
like, wow, I'm first here. I'm the only one in the parking lot. There's nobody here. I'm going to get a great seat at the bar. And so I parked. I backed my brand new vehicle up and I away from everyone else because I don't want to get it scratched. And I walked up to the front door and the guy goes, no, we're closed for the next month. We're totally closed for the next month. So that's why I was first. I was the only one there. I didn't know that they were closed. They're redoing the inside. So they picked this month to close, our only date night that we've ever had in 30 years.
I like that place because they have a good happy hour specials and I have a gift card there from my dad.
I didn't even know
Still,
that.
Dad,
Thank
I'm
you
using
for
that gift card. So I was like, well, this isn't going to cost me a ton of money. So that's good.
And the second place we decided to go was their brother place in Gateway called, what's that one called?
Saucy Meatball.
Saucy Meatball. So I, of course, there's nowhere to park over there at that place. Wow, that's a giant camera. And that's going to be a close-up now. Stop that. People are trying to eat breakfast right now. So we get there. There's no parking. So I have to park a half a mile away and walk, which I don't care because I don't want anyone scratching my new truck. So we get there and she's standing out front. She says there's nowhere to stand anywhere inside like this. Because apparently everyone from 2 meatballs and a sandwich comes over to Saucy Meatball and they hang out there. So we left and we went home and we washed the dogs.
Yes.
That's what we did on date night last night.
Well,
she washed the dogs.
I was going to
drank.
say, we washed the dogs. No. His contribution was lifting one of the dogs.
What the hell are you feeding that dog, by the way? Holy shit, that dog weighs like 100 pounds now.
One of our dogs is 50 pounds. And I,
the
get
bulldog is 50
and
pounds.
I carry her out, And I said, the other dog is a little heavier and longer. Can you got to get them by their undercarriage. He's holding it by the front legs, and the dog's
you're making it sound like a crippled dog.
Are trying to get on the lanai. It's trying to walk. I'm like, what are you doing? And that was your contribution. But the dogs are clean.
So when we have date night and it doesn't work out and we go home, I expect that we're going to do something datey. Maybe sit in the corner and make out, or have a drink at the countertop or something like that. And so she says, okay, I'm going to wash the dogs. And I was like, well, that's a Debbie Downer right there. I mean, how is that a date night? We're washing the dogs.
I was washing the dogs and watching the Roomba run into the wall.
How do you come up with, I'm going to wash the dogs?
Well, at that point, stuff's
it's not
just
a date
gotta
night
get
anymore.
Done. No.
All righty.
No.
So the second thing.
I want to wish that my nephew a happy birthday today. He's turning 18.
Wow,
Yes.
18. Remember the good old days when we were 18?
Yes.
Yeah, 18 years old.
And my brother's birthday was earlier this week. I won't say his age.
All right.
There you go. So happy birthday, Matthew.
Yeah. So the other thing I
And
want
Tyler.
to make sure we mention was the 28th. Everybody knows what September 28th is. It's been a freaking year already, coming up in a couple of weeks. And we're going to have an event here at 9 o'clock on the 28th, right here at Bayside Park. The mayor is going to be the master of ceremonies. The gift arrived yesterday, everybody. The gift that she's been laboring over for weeks and weeks arrived yesterday. A big giant box.
I'm so paranoid. I haven't even opened the box yet, but once we get this all done, those people up there have been amazing, and I will give out their name and all their stuff. At some point, though, I think I don't know, Melissa.
They're not watching.
I think she stopped taking my phone calls because she was like, "You're so neurotic about this. We're gonna get it done. We're going to get it
done
shipped."
2 weeks in advance.
I started borrowing other people's phone to give them a call because I was certain that she wasn't taking my phone call anymore.
And you had some help. You had some help from Lacey, and you had some help from
Mary.
Mary, Mitch's wife. Mitch passed away in the storm, and we hope that they're going to be down here. So we're going to have an event from 9 to 10, and then a show here from 10 to 1. But there's also something going on in Times Square. They're unveiling the clock. Did you guys see all the coverage for the clock? I mean, it's been crazy how much that clock means to so many people. It's been all over the news, the TV stations and the newspaper. And then on October 7th, don't forget the Matchbox 20 event is Hurricane Heroes at the
Twin Stadium.
The Twin Stadium, Hammond Stadium. So hopefully you guys wear your yellow shirts and come out to that.
On the 10th, it's his birthday.
60 years old. 60.
You're not going to be 60.
Oh, close enough. 58.
58 or 50?
How old are you?
I'm a year older than you.
Yeah.
So you're going to be
again with the guy with the camera. 58? That thing's huge.
I know. No, I'm
Does it
sitting
take
up
poster
now.
size? I know.
Now take whatever pictures you want, because before I was kind of like.
We want to say hello to our friends from Wisconsin. They came to our Wisconsin show.
Back over there.
Yeah, they're from Wisconsin too.
Yes, they were at the show too.
When you guys,
and the Tanners.
That's right. The owner of Tanners is here, Bruce from Wisconsin. A lot of Wisconsin people here. So.
And we have people from Oneonta, my hometown.
How crazy is this?
It's crazy.
Yeah. The last thing I wanted to mention before we have Blake come on was Monday night with the mayor. We'll be live from Diamond Head at 5 o'clock. If anybody is still in town and wants to come to that, because Kim has a regular job and I just toy around with a dinky podcast. Stephen Clark is going to co-host the Monday night with the mayor this Monday, which will be live at Diamond Head at 5 o'clock, because there's a FEMA meeting. So bring your tomatoes if you want to go to the FEMA meeting at 6 o'clock.
Hey, I do want to. That I can make. 6 o'clock I can make. 5 o'clock is tight.
We're going to talk about insurance right now, everybody, with our first guest from State Insurance, Blake Chapman. Blake, come on down.
Come on, Blake. But I like how you end with FEMA and then you bring him in.
Because it can only go uphill when you bring up the word FEMA.
You never did the question.
We're going to do it. You can do it right now. Let's do it right now with Blake here. We'll see if Blake knows the answer to your question.
So
all right.
I'm going to start with an easy one.
This is for the live studio audience only. This is for the live studio audience only. We're giving away a free Vibe t-shirt.
Are you ready, Marie? You got to be ready
here's
to
the
watch.
thing. Well, here's the thing. You're getting a Vibe t-shirt that fits you. You can't trade it in for something else. You can't trade it in for a hat or a cup or something like that. Or tell me you don't like the way it looks. It's a Vibe t-shirt we're giving away with short sleeves.
Some of them Ed stepped on, so they have marks on them. So.
All right, Blake, you ready?
I'm ready.
If you know the answer in the audience, raise your hand, and Marie will get you.
I think this is going to be really fast.
All right, here we go.
You ready? Now, we said space and planets. So, what is the fourth planet from the sun? There we go.
You didn't even give Blake a chance, dear. Blake was supposed to get a chance to answer the question.
He's not going to win.
What is
Tip
it?
of the tongue.
Mars.
Who was the fourth president of the United States?
Do you
This
know
is
the
not for a
answer?
t-shirt. This is not for a t-shirt.
Do you even know the answer?
I would have to look that one up.
Okay.
Well, I
can't
asked you who
ask
the
a
second was
question you
last
don't
night, and you
know.
said John Quincy Adams, which was
I was
which
close.
wrong. Yeah,
It was his
we're related
dad.
somehow.
Yeah.
Blake, how are you, man?
Hey, good. Great to be here. Great day on the beach.
Yes.
Glad to be out here today.
Blake is with State Insurance, and actually, Blake And State Insurance says you've been with us since the Pete's Time Out days, since
Yes,
like 100
yes.
years ago. I mean, so we
Absolutely.
appreciate you being a sponsor of the show, and
Grateful to do it.
tell everybody a little bit about your company.
Sure. So company is State Insurance USA, independent insurance agency. We have an office in Fort Myers, Estero, and Fort Myers Beach that will be opening back up soon, right on Lovers Lane. And but we're a property and casualty insurance agency. And the big thing for us is just who we are as an agency. And we say we love first. So that's our core value. Number one is love and serve others. And we feel like if we do that well, that's going to build a trusted relationship, and that's going to create an excellent experience is kind of what we're shooting for. So that's kind of us in a nutshell. Got several carriers and things of those options, but really are just there for our customers, our team, and our community is a major thing as well.
You know, I mean, the insurance company has been getting whacked.
Yeah.
And,
Well, not
and
the insurance
deservedly
company,
so.
the insurance industry.
Yeah,
not the
the
insurance
industry.
company.
And deservedly so. How have you been holding up under that sort of?
I would say it's been a tough year. It's been a tough year for insurance teams. I would say agency teams, carrier teams. And, actually prior to Ian, we were already in a really, really tough spot as an industry. And so that just really excelled that even to be a bigger problem, or whatnot. I would say things are really kind of trending in a better direction now. We're definitely not out of the woods, but I would say in the next 12 to 18 months, we're going to see some things that are going to be very helpful across the state.
Let me ask you, what advice do you have to people that live on the island to be able to afford insurance in the future?
Yeah, that's going to be extremely challenging, and I would say this, you need to make sure you're working with an independent insurance agency. That's first. They're going to have all the options that are going to be available for you, and then look at different things as far as what options do I have? What carriers do I have? And probably the number one thing is a lot of carriers are needing specific inspections right now. And so one's called a wind mitigation inspection, and another one's called a 4-point inspection. One's for credits and one's for eligibility. And so you want to make sure that you have those two up to date with all your recent updates and things of that nature. And that will put you in the best position as new markets come available, which we've had a few recently, more inland, but they're moving to the coast. And those inspections are very, very helpful. They're old inspections, but they mean more now today because a lot of the rates are increasing due to the catastrophe exposure or the wind exposure, the hurricane exposure. And that wind mitigation inspection has everything that was adopted back in actually 2008 to provide credits for those wind mitigation features. So those inspections, I think, are the best thing that you can make sure are up to date when you're shopping your insurance.
Now, I was reading about, and you have to clear this up because I'm just going to pull what I remember. Citizens insurance.
Yes.
They're having, I can't think of the term, but people are getting not kicked off, but they're getting pushed off to other insurance companies and new insurance companies that are coming into Florida. If somebody is with Citizens and they get one of those rehoming letters, that's not what it's called, but it's something.
So basically they're eligible. So Citizens being a state run insurance carrier, last resort, that might've been the only option. And they had to turn to that due to an insolvency with a carrier or whatnot. But the reality is what's happening now is there's private industry that's coming in and it's called a takeout. So depopulation of Citizens policies that will help reduce the exposure on all Floridians. We are all paying in the event there's ever needed to be a special assessment. All Citizens policyholders would be assessed that. There hasn't ever had to be, but so it is a good thing for us to depopulate Citizens. We had it down to about 400,000 policies, and now it's back up to about 1.4.
Wow.
So this is a cycle that's happened before.
I get it, dear. I
well,
get 400
you with
to 1.
math.
I got it.
I don't know. So they're trying to, depopulate. And then if you get a letter, then you can go with another insurance company. And what is it like? It's got to be within 20%.
Yeah. So if it's within 20%, you actually will be moved. You have to be. And so there's some benefits of that. The actual assessment that can be applied. That's one of the things that will be a lot lower than the 45% loss assessment that could be assessed to Citizens policyholders. So that's one of the benefits. There's other coverage things that are better than Citizens. And then as Citizens continues to reduce the dwelling values that they're insuring over the next couple of years, this might be a good out to get out of Citizens, because you can't voluntarily go there. Maybe they're not writing new policies, but they are taking them through this depopulation process. So it is a good thing if it's in reason. Now, if it's astronomical above that 20%, I'd say stay put.
But then should people contact someone like you well, you for sure, but an independent to look at all the different options before they even go with who the takeout person is?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great thing. Contact us.
Was that a great question or is that a great thing?
It's a great question. I think there you go. But yeah, I think contact us, contact their agent that they're.
She kind of let them on a little bit.
I did.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. We would love to look at that. We just had an individual that contacted us. Hey, I'm looking to see what I could do on my home and flood insurance. And the markets that were available in April of this year are different than they are available now. Now, I'm not going to say a lot, but they're starting to come back. There's at least 2 to 3 new markets, and it was a substantial savings on what she had in April versus because it was just, this is my only option. That's where we really were back. You go back beginning of this year. And so those things are definitely starting to get a little bit better.
Do you mind if I participate a little bit today?
One question for you.
So why was why did it seem like the residents on the beach were getting jacked around by wind was saying it was water, and water was saying it was wind, and the people were just like in la la land?
Yeah. I mean, I think a combination. I think some of the recent legislation has helped with carrier transparency and the way that they're processing claims. I think the catastrophe is going to be something anytime of that magnitude. The process is going to be a whole lot slower, or whatnot. And there's only certain things that reinsurance will cover for those carriers. So they have to be very specific on not covering anything that would have been a flood loss, and the flood needs to cover those things. So just the timetable on that alone takes a lot longer to process. I don't think it was, I think there's a lot to be learned from it, to say the least.
Do you think the people on the beach were treated fairly by the insurance industry?
I think there's some inconsistency there, and I think that's the unfortunate part. I think there's a lot of great stories where fairness was maybe better than fairness. Hey, I really did well based on what my loss was. And I think there was other things where, no, they didn't do enough from a carrier standpoint or from.
You think it's company specific?
I don't think it's company specific. I think it's a industry issue that is going to be worked out for sure.
It seemed like.
Do you think it had to do with the folks that they were sending down to do the assessments?
Oh yeah.
Like, because they weren't necessarily trained in this kind of situation. And how does an insurance company go? I mean, like if you need heart surgery, you're not going to go to an orthopedic. Yeah. So like you need someone who knows and is familiar with dealing with the specific damage and wow. Yeah. So go ahead.
Great question. Yes. Come on, Ed. Absolutely. Great question. But I think you got a lot
That's the first great question she's ever had. She's had some good questions.
She's got amazing questions. I can see. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
free advertising for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. And as far as the adjusters coming from out of state, a lot of the carriers, in order to scale up for the large amount of claims, they have to bring a lot of out-of-state adjusting firms. That is their duty at the time of the loss, to get somebody to the property to do that first initial inspection. And then there's some of those delays. I think probably the one thing that is maybe misunderstood is that there's a supplemental process. Maybe that was the first look, and then there's a supplemental process that can continue on for quite some time to reevaluate and say, hey, this needs to be reevaluated. This needs to be reopened based on this additional data. Some of those adjusters were there for a long amount of time, and they did a really, really good job. Some were there for quick. They had to get to the next one. And so I think that's another thing from a carrier transparency piece that has to get better.
Well, one of the things I want to make sure I emphasize is that you guys, your company, and you do a lot for the community. Every month you give away money to a local organization, and I want people to know that. Talk about that.
Yeah, no, that's a great. Thanks for bringing that up. And actually, you know,
it was close. It was close.
Hey,
it was close.
Absolutely, that was a great question.
I don't give
Ed.
myself kudos. I don't give myself kudos.
It wasn't really a question. It was a great leading statement. But yes, go ahead, answer that.
Absolutely. When it comes to insurance professionals, we want to be the very best. That's really what we're shooting for, and we're trying to get better in our training and things of that nature. But we don't want it to be missed on who we are in the community. You know, this is where I was born and raised, Lee County, and whatnot. This is the beach I grew up on, you know, and what have you. And I would say for our nonprofits, a really, really big thing. Actually, on the 15th of November, we are having our nonprofit night. The agency is putting this on. We're going to be at the Pink Shell.
Okay.
And we're going to bring the 50 nonprofits that we have donated to over the last several years, and we're going to have a great night. So, and that's
is there a theme involved? And I only asked because I was having conversations earlier about a theme. Yeah. Like, are you doing any dressing up, or is it like
keep it regular?
I can't remember exactly the theme. That's our marketing team.
He's got people for that.
But we're extremely excited about that. That's something that we can kind of highlight. That's very important to us. That love and care piece, it extends outside of our day-to-day insurance.
But you give a check away to somebody every month.
Yeah, definitely. We do 2 now.
2 a month.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's just something that we feel like is, hey, it's a way that we can say we are here for the long haul. We're a community partner, and it's something near and dear to our heart.
So Laura's question is, how will new buildings fare with premiums?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. That is
she gets a bell too.
So great
nice job,
question.
Lori.
Absolutely.
You're already expired your 3 great questions. So
yes, absolutely.
I got 2 of them, by the way. Keep
bringing them. Very good. Very good. So in the state, our new building codes that were adopted in 2001 really went into force in 2002, make a major difference. And they've changed throughout the years. But yes, insurance companies love that. The well mitigation of the homes, even from a flood standard perspective, they've got to be built up. And yes, very, very favorable rates when it comes to new construction.
Awesome.
Is that for commercial and residential?
Commercial and residential, absolutely. Okay. So anything built to the new standards is definitely going to be looked at favorable. Yes, absolutely.
So before the storm, I think it was the governor and the legislature passed something to they claimed it was going to bring more competition for insurance companies to the beach. Had something to do with litigation. What's your thought on that? And is it going to increase the number of companies that come to Florida to offer lower rates?
You know, I think that it was helpful. But with the legislation that was done in December was historic, and that was needed. So that was going to bring more competition. And some of the things that were added even this year will bring competition again. So, yeah, it really rolled back a lot of the litigation problems that we're having, along with, and it also even put in some pieces of the carrier transparency and how their underwriting process has been shrunk. So they have to be quicker, and they have to even their claims process and things of that nature. So I think it's a win-win for both sides. It's just going to take time for it to pan out. There wasn't a lot of carriers that wanted to invest in Florida, one based off our catastrophe exposure, but then 2 based off our litigation. I mean, we had 80% of the lawsuits in the nation when it came to homeowners claims. And that was prior to Ian.
How many companies are going to go?
I know, but see, we were one of those people that had to do that too.
We did. How many companies, insurance companies, are going to go bankrupt as a result of this storm?
You know, I don't. That's really the reinsurance cost that we pay in our premiums, and the carrier pays to be reinsured for catastrophes. That's really what helps at the time of a catastrophe. So, I think they're good from Ian. I think the reality is the litigation that comes from the everyday claims, from the small wind event or whatnot. That's really where the challenge is. There's not any reinsurance on that side. And so, yeah, there has been one carrier. They were already in trouble. You know, they had things coming out in August, and then we all know what happened in September. Mm-hmm. And they went insolvent by March.
We Albert's got a question, but before that, you brought up a catastrophe. So I wanted to ask you about a specific catastrophe. When you saw Aaron Rodgers go down and tear his Achilles, What went through your mind?
I'm a Dolphins fan, so
so you were happy.
Yeah, I was fine with it for sure. But
Shit.
absolutely.
I got up the next morning and I saw, because I can't stay up and watch an 8:30 game. It's way too late. And I saw the Jets won.
What does that have anything to do
It was
with
a
property
catastrophe,
insurance?
and I'm sure the Wisconsin people here are just loving every minute of it.
Well,
right?
you
I mean,
had
they
to
don't,
blah blah last week. I was like, you know what?
I was really
This
talking
is what's
trash
gonna
on the
happen.
Facebook and thinking that the Giants were going to have a great game against the Dolphins.
This is what you get.
I mean, against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Actually, Aaron Rodgers should sue you because you put out bad juju, and then that's what happened to his
Did you-
leg.
The Dolphins. I mean, I keep saying the Dolphins and the Cowboys. They beat the Giants by a bit last Sunday. So who are your team's the Dolphins?
That's
So
it.
Are they 1-0?
Yeah.
Who did they? Oh, they beat. Who did they beat last weekend?
I can't remember off the
You're a
top,
real
but
good
yeah.
fan.
Yeah, I know.
Close
Well,
fan.
you know what? haven't been the best fan recently. But,
Now the Dolphins? Who do the Dolphins play this weekend?
I don't know.
That's two
Oh,
questions you can't
Yeah.
answer. Does
Hey,
anybody
those
know?
are terrible questions.
Oh, the Patriots.
There it is.
The
Yes.
Dolphins have a chance against them. So
Hey, I'll be watching.
That's a night game tonight, right? That's a night game. All right. So
To make sure
Let me
you give
ask,
out your phone number because people are asking for your phone number. I
Yeah,
don't think
yeah,
your
go right ahead.
personal phone number, but like your business.
you're
phone
happily
number. Or
married.
maybe-
Are you
yeah, I
happily
don't know.
married or single?
Yeah, happily married. I
Okay.
have 5 children, so that's why I
Holy
don't get to
shit.
watch a lot of football.
Wow.
You need
But,
a lot of
yeah,
health insurance,
yeah.
folks. Get
How
I
much-
need a lot of
How
home
old are your
insurance.
kids?
So it starts at 15. So we're in those driving stages. Woo, that's wild. Sitting in the passenger
The first
seat.
one is the oldest.
She's
is 15.
driving. Yeah, absolutely.
Lower
It's,
than 15.
13, 9, 7, and 5.
Have you
So-
cut the cord yet, or what the hell, man?
Absolutely.
I mean,
that's
wow.
it for us, for sure. And
Did you want 5 or did you want?
No, we got a bonus. We got a bonus
I see.
there.
I see. Did you snip it before number 5 or?
No, didn't go there. For
I
sure.
see. All right.
Absolutely. But Dolphins play the
So,
Patriots.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. Back on
Wait,
that.
When
No.
your kids go to college,
Okay. Can you explain what reinsurance is?
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. So moving on to another great topic. Reinsurance. So carriers purchase reinsurance in the event of a catastrophe. So the claims are going to be much larger than the premiums they take in. So basically, they buy reinsurance, and it's very complex. It's probably 15 large carriers, and they will reinsure them up to, let's say, $1 billion in losses over the hurricane season. And so they pay a premium for that. They have a deductible for that, and they buy that. That's just kind of how the Florida marketplace works. And
So the
yeah,
insurance company takes
Buys
out
insurance.
insurance.
you got it for catastrophes. So yeah,
For
absolutely.
catastrophe.
so Albert's question was, who's actually writing new policies for new homes on the beach? Do you know?
So new homes on the beach at the moment, that would be depends on the value of the home, or what have you. I mean, Citizens might be a good option depending on the value. You've got Lloyd's of London, you've got Chubb that's writing, several other high value carriers that are definitely writing for sure.
So what is it seemed like the auto insurance
Yeah,
was
challenging.
golden. I mean,
Yeah.
that when every single car was lost on the island a year ago, but it seemed like there were no complaints about
Mhm.
people getting their cars reimbursed or new cars why was it so different?
I think
Well,
it's
It's a price difference. I mean,
When did you get your insurance
I'm
license?
telling you, I'm sitting for the
I'm asking
exam
the
next
insurance
week.
expert with 5 kids, by the way.
I think this is my belief is that just from most of our auto carriers are national carriers, so they know how to really escalate at the time of a catastrophe. And I think there's a lot to be learned from that. I think the other thing is too, if there's not a lot of, if some salt water hits your car, it's going to be a total loss.
Yeah.
And so that's the easiest way for them to handle this.
Have you actually sat down at the kitchen table with your wife and tried to calculate how much it would cost to put 5 kids through college when they go through college? I mean, what do you think that dollar amount's going to be?
It's going to keep me working for a long, long time.
Yeah.
for
Like,
sure.
are you thinking $1 million, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
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 That's a lot of money.
It's a
Wow.
lot, for sure.
Now,
Absolutely.
how long have you guys been in business now, Blake?
So the agency just had its 10th year anniversary, July
Sweet.
1st. And, I grew up in an insurance household. So my father was an agent as well. And so, we went through Hurricane Charlie and Wilma, and he was actually in the Port Charlotte area. So Charlie came in, one of the largest agencies that was devastated up there. So, it's just been part of our DNA, I guess, put it that way.
Yep. And
What's important for people to know when they're shopping for insurance?
I think the inspection piece is big. I think working with an independent insurance agency is really the number one thing as well. And working with somebody that knows the local area. I think a lot of times where you might be working with an agent that might be out of state or whatnot, that they might have an option, but they don't know the local area when it comes to flood insurance or even distance to the coast and those things. And so I think really working with a local partner or a local agency makes a major difference.
And people can come to you just for property. You don't do auto, home, health, stuff, or what do you do?
We do everything but the financial stuff. So yeah, we do auto, absolutely, auto, home, flood insurance,
health insurance.
We don't do health insurance. So
no.
yeah, absolutely. But we've got some good contacts. So if you need one, just reach out and we'll help.
Get out your information, please, Blake.
Yeah. So best way to get in contact with us. So you can go to our website, which is real simple, stateinsuranceUSA.com, and read all about us there. But also my email, which is Blake, BLAKE, at stateinsuranceUSA.com, or our phone number, really, really simple, 239-567-9992.
Thank you so much for coming on. Big hand for Blake, an insurance company that you can trust. Thank you, Blake, so much for coming on. Appreciate you guys being a sponsor for so long.
Good luck with all of those children.
Yes, 5 kids. Wow. All right, everybody. Before we give away a few more T-shirts, we do have to give away a T-shirt to the studio or the Facebook audience. So Thank you, Greg, for putting that on there. I need to tell you about Power Block Builders because I totally muffed them up last week. They've been a sponsor of ours, and I was supposed to tell you about their new information last week, and I totally forgot. Power Block Builders has built hundreds of structures for Lennar Homes and other developers since 2017. They're a father and son company. Oscar Jr. is the licensed general contractor and roofing contractor. Oscar Sr., that would be his dad, is the mason by trade with over 35 years of concrete experience. And the younger brother, Kellen, is a field supervisor for Power Block. One of the few builders on Fort Myers Beach who has a model home to show its high-end craftsmanship. Go to powerblockbuilders.com, powerblockbuilders.com, or call them right now, 239-849-1919. That's 239-849-1919. One of our longest sponsors is Jorge Barrera, everybody. Big fan favorite here at the Wahoo Willies. I'm going to turn my mic up a little bit while where'd she go? To the little powder room? Jorge Barrera with Premier Plus Realty. If you're not sure how much your property is worth or when the right time is to buy or sell, give Jorge a call. He'll listen to your specific situation and guide you through the process. He'll take care of you personally with honesty and integrity and probably a hug. He's a hugger. His main focus is building relationships. That's why he hugs. Me, I'm not a hugger. He's a hugger. Call Jorge Barrera at 239-791-9893. 239-791-9893. All right. Let's give away another T-shirt. This one is going to our Facebook audience only. All right. Is the Facebook audience ready? All right. Are we doing planets again? Or are we doing something else?
I didn't do 2 for each.
What? You come up with another question, or I'll go back to the United States history. All right. Well, it doesn't matter how many we give away. Are you ready, Greg and Marie? You ready? Here's the question for our Facebook audience only. Don't yell it out because you'll be able to hear at home, although it is on a 10-second delay. You grabbed the wrong microphone. Grab your microphone.
This is really easy.
All right. Let it rip, dear. Let it rip.
What planet has rings around it?
Oh, come on.
I know, but you made me go at the last minute.
Really? You had to come up with something that easy.
No. On the fly, I did. You do?
If I know it, Saturn.
Yep.
Okay, sorry, I gave it away. Do another question. If somebody doesn't know Saturn, if I know the answer, it's not good enough. The question is not hard enough if I know the answer. Sorry, you guys.
All right, well, then I'm going to burn one of our other. Okay.
Why burn it?
All right.
Dear, you have to come up with extra questions just in case.
You didn't tell me that. You said 3,
fails.
not 6. So, all right, here we go.
Saturn is off the charts, everybody.
We're going on to animals.
Animals.
What
oh, okay.
are the 2 most common sea turtles that nest on the beaches around Fort Myers?
All right, that's a good one. Ding, 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 ding. We need to get the Jeopardy soundtrack. So ask it again.
What are the 2 most common sea turtles that nest on our beaches?
Loggerhead and big ass ones. Patrick, that was funny. Loggerhead is probably one.
That's one.
Loggerhead is one. Big ass is not another one.
No.
Is that a name of a turtle? Big ass?
Wait.
Loggerhead and Ridley?
No, Kemp's Ridley. Nope. Did someone say?
Greenback. Loggerhead and greenback.
It's a green. Yes.
Did she get-
Loggerhead and green.
It looked like Dawn, you got it. Did she get it?
Yeah, those Kemp's Ridleys
Congratulations,
are really
Dawn.
little.
You get a free t-shirt. And she just bought a bunch of t-shirts too, so she
you gotta
deserves a
protect
free
those
one.
little Kemp's Ridleys.
So,
those are my favorite.
You'll need to get her size from her and we'll send it out in the mail to her. No shipping, of course. So do you have 2 more?
No, I have one more. You
All
said
right.
3.
Let's ask one more for the live audience, and then we'll have Pam on to tell us about the Faith Center that they're having at the Mound House. You need a drink before you ask the next question. Is it that tough? All right. Last question for the live studio audience. Raise your hand quickly so Marie can see it. Ready?
All right. This is
There
a
we go.
tricky one. We'll see.
Oh,
We'll see.
here comes the hard one.
What state
What state
has the most
has
lakes
the most lakes
or shoreline?
or shorelines? Oh my God. White shirt.
Nope.
What do you say?
Wisconsin? Is that your answer?
Is that your final
Nope.
answer?
Raise your hand. Red shirt. Red shirt. Red shirt. No.
Nope.
Michigan.
Nope.
Holy crap.
Nope.
Holy wow.
No. Think outside.
Think
Florida.
outside.
Raise shirt. Back there. Hold it.
What is the question again? Ask the question again.
What did he say? Alaska? There you go.
Oh, Alaska.
By like a lot.
Really?
Like
How many
3
lakes?
million.
Alaska has 3 million lakes.
It's got a lot of lakes.
Wow. Congratulations. Let's get our winner's name. And do you have any other questions? Or are you good?
Stop asking me if I have any other questions. You told me 3. I got 3.
Oh, wow. So mean today. Pam, would you like to come down and calm down my wife? She's on the edge right
How
now.
about this? What's our anniversary? Do you know the answer
November
to that?
11th.
No,
It is too.
it is not.
15th.
No.
21st.
I mean, you got the month right, but whatever.
Wait, you didn't tell me in advance you were going to ask me that question. Pam from the Faith Center is here, everybody.
Somebody's
Welcome.
going to get it right on the Facebook before he gets it right.
Thank you. Pam, how are you?
I'm great.
I
thank you.
apologize for inviting you on this show. I know it's a dinky podcast and you look frightened.
No, well,
we-
this isn't your
we
second.
love it.
This isn't your first rodeo.
time.
Yeah, this is your second.
You were
time.
on already?
Yes.
I'm
Pastor
just kidding.
John.
Yeah.
Now, you guys tell everybody about the Faith Center.
Okay, so the Faith Center Church is located in Fort Myers, but we really feel led to come down to the beach to really encourage people, bless people, serve people, because everyone on the beach has been through so much. And we really care about reaching people and offering a word of hope and healing and restoration and kind of cheerleading them on, you know, that with God's help, you can rebuild stronger and better than you ever dreamed possible. So Pastor John and I have had a church in Fort Myers for 20 years. We just celebrated 20 years of ministry, and we're starting a service today. It's every Saturday at 4:30 at the Mound House. And it's a 1-hour service. And my husband is a great pastor and preacher, not because he's my husband, but because he gives you the New Jersey translation. Like, he really breaks it down and makes it very real and how you can take the word of God and apply it to your life.
Pam, I really like how you compliment your husband.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is there a specific way that
Not
you
gonna happen.
go about that? Or is there a way you can pass that along to people when
Yeah. I know that she compliments you many times.
That's right.
too.
really?
See, yeah. So we got to
Yes.
give her kudos.
Does she do
Thank
it directly
you.
to you when I'm not around? Or I mean, what am I missing? When are you doing that? When?
Yeah.
I said something nice about you today over there.
You did when I wasn't around.
Yeah.
I see.
I
Thank you
said
so much.
you've gotten, kinder and gentler in your old age.
Really, I don't know
I
that
didn't
people
say it
that
exactly like that, but that was my intent.
I don't know that the 50 people that own property that got the letter yesterday were feeling that love.
Well, we're not going to go into that one.
Wasn't there somebody that you were going to talk about last night that you read an email about?
Yeah, but we're not. Well,
I see. After
this
Pam's
is
here.
positive.
Yeah,
This is
I
positive. So, how long have you been coming down to the beach and kind of? What would you call it that you've been going around and reaching out to people? Like,
Yeah,
what do you call that?
Just been trying to outreach on the beach. So we were invited to come on your show back in May, maybe. And then we got involved helping the beach kids. Like we brought goodie bags to their concert. We did teacher appreciation for the teachers of the Fort Myers Beach Elementary. And then we donated $1,000 worth of backpacks. And we were able to make donations to both food pantries because there are people that are really hurting. So all of us together can drop off food to those two pantries that are serving so many people and doing such a great job. And then we realized that the teachers lost all of their school supplies in their classrooms. So I had the principal send me a list of what they still needed. And each teacher did a wish list. Well, it was over $6,000. So I said, okay, we'll give you a check for $3,000. We can't do all the wish list, but at least we could do half. So we really care about, the teachers, especially the children having to go to a whole nother school, being displaced from the hurricane, losing probably their homes, their toys. When you're a child, your toys are like everything.
Mm-hmm.
So
what was your favorite toy when you were growing up?
Probably, believe it or not, paper dolls when I was little.
Paper dolls.
Yeah,
like
with the little tabs on
the
it.
little
Yeah.
tabs. And then when my sister would come, I'd be playing with my friend and we're like, oh no, my sister's coming. Hide. Come on, let's hide.
I
Because we
see.
didn't want her to join in. But that was
Your
fun.
sister's very
What was your
upset
favorite
about
toy
that.
growing up?
I don't know. I really liked a pogo stick.
Really?
Yeah.
I see.
I really
How
liked it.
about
What about you?
Jack's?
I didn't have toys growing up.
I'm not so coordinated with that.
That
What, you didn't have
Nah,
any toys?
We didn't
You were
bother
just
with
playing
toys.
with dirt.
I was
and,
writing
like
business
pots
plans.
and pans
No,
and
toys.
right. We were talking about the Slee Stacks last night. Remember that show?
The Slee Stack.
Stacks,
Does anybody
yeah.
remember the name of the TV show the Slee Stack was on?
The Slee
Anybody?
Stacks.
Come on.
Oh my! What?
What was it?
Yep.
Land of the Lost. Yeah,
Yep.
that was way back when TV was weird. When the graphics now are way better than that. Like Mr. Smith. Does anybody remember what TV
Yes,
show?
Lost
Mr.
in Space.
Lost in Space. Yeah, no T-shirt for that. We're just throwing
My
shit out there
absolute
now.
favorite show.
Yeah. So, what was your favorite TV show growing up, Pam?
I don't know.
You don't know. Did you have a TV growing up? I mean, we didn't have
Where
a
did
TV
you
either. I had
grow
no
up?
toys, no
Kentucky.
TVs. I didn't have shoes. I had to walk to school in bare feet.
Kentucky. What's
Did you?
Kentucky look like? I've never been there.
Well,
I'm sure it's a beautiful
is
state.
Gorgeous because that's where all the horse
Green
farms
and
are.
yeah.
I grew up in Louisville. It's more the city.
That's in Kentucky.
Did you
too,
have a horse?
just in case you
No,
didn't know.
but we lived on a farm that kept their horse on our property at one point. My dad said, "Don't ever ride the horse." So of course that was my invitation
yeah.
to
Ride the
climb
horse?
up with no saddle and ride the horse.
My dad said,
How did
"Don't
that
ever."
end?
My dad said, "Don't
I said,
ever eat
well.
yellow snow." Of course. What did I do? Like an idiot. No. So
Wait, let her finish. So what happened on the
So
horse?
The dog bit the horse's tail. The horse took off, and right before the barn, the horse
Oh.
stopped, and I
And
went
you didn't.
flying.
did you?
I had the
Yeah.
same experience
you get a concussion?
in Franklin,
No.
New York.
No concussion.
Yeah.
No concussion.
So what is the what's the sermon for this today? What are we talking about?
Well, it's usually about hope and about faith and
Yeah.
about grace. God gives us grace for all the seasons we go through in life. And hurricane season was a really tough one for a lot of people. So God can give us the grace that we need and the strength. The Bible says when we are weak, he is strong. So he can be our strength for us in those weaker moments.
I think it's hard when times are tough and the statement comes out like you don't, and I might correct me if I botch this up, but you don't get more than you can handle because it's a hard pill to swallow when you're like, I can't handle this.
Mhm.
So what is your response to folks when they're kind of in that like, well,
Well, that footprints poem talks about how, you know, why do I only see one set of footprints when I saw two? And that's because God carries us in those times when we can't walk on our own. God will be our strength. So we have to just put it all in his hands. You know, I have a sign at home that says, put it in God's hands and go to sleep, because you can't carry the load. We're not meant to carry the loads of what we face in life. We're meant to give them to God and get his grace so that we can walk through it with his help, not our own, because we are weak, but he is strong.
Well, I know I couldn't carry your load around.
I'm very weak. Yes. How many? I wasn't even going to ask that question. So the service is 4:30.
4:30 to 5:30, 1 hour service.
You had a nice crowd last week. I think you had about 20 people.
25 people.
Nice.
Probably.
For the first time that you had it at the Mound House. It's going to be at the Mound House every Saturday.
Yes.
At
What a beautiful
4:30.
location.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
Is there
love
enough
that
room there
place.
for? Are you doing it inside or outside?
We're starting inside until it gets cool enough. Then we'll move outside.
Get a
'cause
nice
the
tent.
grounds are
Oh yeah, yeah.
they're
It's a perfect place
beautiful
for it. Yeah.
with the lake, and it's just a great place to hang out. And we'll probably get a guitar player down there. And
Really?
maybe bring some food.
What
when
would-
it-
how
when
would
it
the-
What about a
gets
harp
cooler.
player?
Yeah.
I think
That
a harp.
would be great too.
That would be great.
How does the
Organ.
guitar player fit into the word of the God? Word of
Well,
God.
any music can
singing
fit in.
worship
I
songs.
see. What song would you sing? Like, what would be the first song you have on your God agenda?
How great is our God?
Okay, I don't know the words to that one.
I'll teach you.
I need to be
Now,
more religious. I am going to hell.
that
I
would
know
be-
I'm going to hell.
No,
that would be a
There's
thing.
nobody debating that.
We're
out in
gonna
the
do
audience.
a fundraiser to see if you can get through How Great Thou Art.
What?
Yeah, that's
I'm not
what we're
great at
gonna
all.
do.
Well, I
No,
want to
not you.
commend you guys because I've seen in my short time knowing you how much you love the people on the beach.
Oh.
I
And
thought you were
would
going to
do
say each other. I
anything
was going to be like, well,
Well,
much they
I love
care.
her.
That they would even do something like this and bring on people from all different walks that can help people. Like, I commend you for your
Thank you.
hearts
Well,
to
thank
serve
you.
the community.
This beach means so much to us and the people on the beach, the friends that we've made, and
Yeah.
it's just been an incredible, crazy journey, especially over the last year. So,
Mhm.
4:30 today and 4:30 every Saturday, and we thank you for coming on. And anything we
you.
can do to help, we'll keep promoting it and keep sending us pictures so we can promote the crowd growing down at the Mound House.
Yes, and I want to offer you a personal invitation to come one week,
all right.
1 hour
4:30.
of your time.
1 hour.
And we appreciate you
Thank you.
guys as well.
Thank you
Thank
so
you for
much.
giving me the opportunity.
Pam from the Faith Center, everybody. Go check them out today at the Mound House, which is a super awesome location down at the Mound House. The other thing you ready to come up with one more question? We have time for another giveaway. Maybe you and Greg can kibitz over there and come
I'm
up with
trying
a.
to think when I was looking at the geography thing.
The thing I wanted to tell everybody about was we are helping the town or coordinating with the town to paint that wavy wall in Times Square. I don't know if you've seen that. We have 20 volunteers for Saturday. Next Saturday at 8:00, I think we're doing it. All women. Every single volunteer is a woman. Not a single dude volunteered to help us paint that wall next Saturday. Which is the same thing it is with our races and things like that. It's mostly women. So thank you very much. We're going to need $1,500 for all the supplies, all the paint, and the paint brushes and the rollers and everything to make it look really nice. It's going to be tropical colors. It's going to accent the clock, the brand new clock that you guys have seen out there. But we're only going to let people donate $25 at a time because we know how many people want to help. So later on this weekend or maybe Monday, we're going to set up what we usually do and let everyone know on the Facebook that they could donate, but you can only donate $25. If you give $26, I'm sending $1 back. If you give $50, I'm sending $25 back. Everybody wants to help all the time, so we have to give everybody a chance to help. It's only $1,500. Tony's going to go out. Tony Bone, who painted the poles here in Bayside Park, he's going to go out and get the paint from his distributor, and then we're going to meet on Thursday to pull the sand away. We're going to need some volunteers with shovels. I have the shovels that were, of course, donated by you guys that we saved to pull the sand away from the back part of the wall, and then he's going to prime it. We're going to prime it. Then Saturday, it's going to be painted. So Times Square looks great for when they unveil the clock on the 28th. So Thursday, I'll let everybody know what time on Thursday, and I'll have all those supplies. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday next week. We love helping the town out with the projects they have coming up. So who are we doing this for? The Facebook audience?
I don't know. I came up with the question. You figure it out.
How many did we give? 2 here away? 2 here or 1 here? Okay, so we gave 2 away here. Let's give 1 more away to the Facebook audience only.
Okay.
So you guys ready to see who wins this?
You
Here is
ready?
the final question of the day, everybody.
It is under geography. What is the least populated state? Go. You can't.
It's the Facebook crowd.
I know. I'm just telling him. It's Facebook.
Nobody heard that. Don't worry about it. Nobody heard it. The least populated state wins you a Vibe T-shirt that we will send in the mail with no shipping. Shipping will be free. Is it Alaska?
No, not Alaska.
North Dakota.
Nope.
Not
Getting
North
close.
Dakota. Michigan.
Michigan. No.
Vermont.
The least.
Vermont.
Nope.
Don, you can't win for the next 30 days. That's the radio rules. Rhode Island.
Close.
Montana.
Close.
Wyoming.
Wyoming. Ding, ding, ding,
Wyoming.
ding.
Jim Dunlap. Very nice. Jim, congratulations. I'm losing all my ads here.
I want to go to Wyoming.
How many states have you been to?
That's a good question. I don't know. I have to look. I have been to Montana, and I was privy to go to experience a Montana monsoon while I was watching a rodeo, kind of like a little
When
on the
was this?
side of the road rodeo. And then I
Wait,
was
when was
under a
this?
metal.
Where was I?
A metal. You were here because you never want to go. It was great though.
Do you
was
want to
great.
talk about the
I
person
love-
that you
I-
were talking about last night about you said you were going to do
Okay.
it. You said, okay, here we go. So I posted is this what the
I'm
thing is
not
about?
going to get into specifics. Here's what I'll say about that.
All right.
You know how sometimes people use which is unfortunate for the people with this name, and now I'm going to make it unfortunate with people with a new name. But you know when somebody's like, that person's a Karen, right? You know?
Yeah.
Well,
They
it's a
get it.
new thing now. It's Teresa.
Is anyone here named Teresa?
Sorry.
What did Teresa do? What did Teresa say?
Sorry.
What happened?
Oh.
Dear, you got to fill people in now.
An
You
ex?
can't leave it hanging out there. An ex-wife? What did she
I'm
do?
just going to leave it at that.
You have to tell people why you're picking on Teresa. You can't leave it out there like that. What did she do?
I think if they look back on our Facebook page,
Nobody's
they'll
going
see.
back. You just give it in broad terms what happened. Please. Your hair looks lovely. Don't worry about it. Go ahead. Tell
Well,
everybody.
listen, everybody's entitled to their opinion
Right.
about us.
Right.
But I just want to say that while, this is a business, while this has become a business, it did not start out as a business. And many of the things we do not benefit us personally. So when you make an allegation that is our only, reason for doing things, it bothers me a little bit.
All right. Well, that's the most we're ever going to get out of you to be critical of somebody. So they were picking on us for.
They weren't picking.
All right.
They have their opinion, but I
No,
mean,
everybody's welcome to
know,
their opinion.
you're welcome to come to our house when we were up at 4 a.m. loading stuff to come down to the beach, which we were more than willing to do. But it's a little bit. It's sort of like
Well,
that. Don't make a judgment kind of
the
thing.
thing-
Wow, you made the show end on. Now look, everybody's. You need to come back on, Pam, and lift all
No.
the hearts and minds up.
Some people get angry that we sell merchandise. They really get angry
Yeah.
about it. Like that's the only reason that you have a show. And you feel like saying to people, I don't hold them over a barrel and say you have to buy this or you have to buy that. Some people do like to be part of a brand, and that's what we're trying to create.
Well, it's not a
And
brand that we're trying to create.
it
It's
is a brand I'm
community.
trying- Yeah, well,
it's
yeah.
a community. I mean, we really look at a lot you guys as friends and
Yes.
acquaintances, and we love meeting you. And
Yes. The
it goes
Wisconsin
far
thing, for example, the
beyond
Wisconsin
what you
thing.
have donated and what you have purchased.
Bruce.
So yes,
Bruce, come on down.
yes, come on, Bruce.
I have to. And speaking of that, Bruce owns Tanner's in Wisconsin, and he's here.
Yes.
He's here now. He's here, and he let us bring our goofy show, our dinky podcast, to his restaurant.
I have to say, when you were standing here, I was like, one of those things where you're like, yeah, he looks familiar, but I can't quite place him. And it's out of context. So thank you so much for coming down.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you so much for hosting us up there.
was
You have a
great.
great place.
It was
was a fun party.
crazy to see the sea of yellow shirts, and your place is so awesome. And it was a perfect day. The weather was perfect.
Everything was perfect. I agree.
And the show went off without a hitch. And you had a great band before us. And tell everybody that might not know how we kind of connected, because that's even a pretty cool story.
Well, I did some work over at Buttonwood, and I met you there one time. And then Heidi texted me after when you guys decided to come to Wisconsin. Heidi Jungworth texted me. She said, "Hey, they're going to do a show in Appleton, Wisconsin. That's where you are, aren't you?" Yeah. So then I contacted you guys. Said, "Hey, I got a couple places up here. If you want to have the show at one of our places, we'd love to have you." And that's kind of how it all came together, I guess.
You're being very, to say it's like a place. I mean, it's huge. It's got a pool in it. It's got like a
volleyball courts.
Yeah. It's
like you hold volleyball leagues inside, which I'd never heard of before.
In tournaments. And
you've got indoor, outdoor. You've got the claw game, which is one of our favorite games.
I don't remember seeing the claw game, but
I didn't. I didn't even give it a try. I didn't even try.
Yeah, I mean, the only kind of place that we can kind of compare, it's not even close to yours down here with an outdoor pool is this is a boathouse.
But it's so much bigger.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The perch was so good.
Fresh Lake perch, yep.
Yeah.
And your wait staff, they were fantastic.
Now, what's your connection to Fort Myers Beach?
So I have a place in the Privateer,
Nice.
6500, and we're out of that. So actually, the reason we're down here now came with Tamara, who sponsored the show, my sister-in-law, Tamara Van Cray, and we were looking for another place because I didn't want to rent all season this year. So I said, well, let's head down. They have a place in Estero. Let's go look for a place. So we actually bought another place up in Kelly Greens.
Okay.
Nice.
So
it's not the beach, but it's close.
Yeah.
it's about as close as you can get. So
right now. Well, it was a great connection, and it just everything. It's almost like you never want to try it again because it came out too perfect. But I mean, we could always come back and do this at your place because it was so awesome.
Anytime. Well, and you guys had a great place to stay too.
Oh yeah, we
Come
stayed.
by that? Like, was it family owned, or how long have you owned it?
So my wife's family built it in 1977 as a typical Wisconsin supper club, and then they had sold it. And then I was working at a Pierce Manufacturing fire truck place in Appleton, and my wife called me. She said, "Hey, Mom and Dad are getting the restaurant back. They had sold it on a land contract." I'm like, "Oh, well, that'll be fun to work there again." She's like, "No, they don't want to take it over. They want us to take it over." Oh, geez, I'm kind of working right now.
So no experience in the restaurant
Yeah, I
business?
mean, I had worked there
Okay.
from 77 through 80, when I was in high school. And, well, anyway, got home that night and I said, well, geez, we got like $10,000. We can get into this, can't we?
Wow. But you have more than one place now.
So now there's two tanners now. We just opened another tanner's out in Grand Chute, other side of Appleton. And I've got a couple small bars that I'm partners in too. So
sweet. Well, thank you so much for hooking us up
had a
out
great
there.
time.
And we hope to go back. And the Wisconsin people
I
were
can't believe
just
how
so
many people
great.
showed up for that.
I know.
120, is that
Oh
what
my
you
It
had?
was
God, it was
crazy that we saw the
crazy.
pictures from that are insane. So thanks.
That was awesome.
Bruce from
Thank
Tanner's,
you so
everybody.
much. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
So great to see Bruce. Before we go, I want to let everybody know that Dorston Claims, Mark Dorston, if the insurance thing doesn't work out, that means you didn't call state insurance and you need to. But if it doesn't work out for you, call Dorston Claims because Mark has been helping people down on the beach get more money. And that's what you need to rebuild your home. 239-849-2949. If I said that too fast, I'll say it slower. 239-849-2949. Dorston Claims will help you get money on top of the money from the insurance company. Even if you got a check, you could still get more money from your insurance company because you're going to need more money to rebuild your house. And Mark is going to help you get that money, and he doesn't charge until he gets you more money. You don't pay him a retainer or anything like that. If it doesn't work out with an adjuster, then it's time to get an attorney. All these things fit into a process, people, and the attorneys you need to call are the Landau Law Group. If you ran the race a couple of weeks ago, you saw they were a big sponsor of the race. They're a big sponsor of the show. They love being in the Fort Myers Beach community. You want an attorney that you can trust. You want an attorney that you can call to get you more money. It's all about the money. It's all about the Benjamins. to rebuild that house. Call the Landau Law Group at 866-703-4878. 866-703-4878. The Landau Law Group will help you get the money you need to rebuild your house if nothing else works out. Mondays with the mayor. All right, Derek, get back. We're going to finish it up now. Come on. Come on, dear. She can't make Mondays with the mayor because she has a real job, and I run a dinky podcast. We have shirts that say dinky podcast now. Yeah, because we're all about just selling gear. So Mondays with the mayor will be Monday night at 5 o'clock, not 6 o'clock, and it's going to be live at the Diamond Head Resort.
And then the FEMA thing is afterwards.
The FEMA thing, that the reason it's at 5 is because there's a FEMA meeting with the public at 6. You can go and meet FEMA. I don't know that the FEMA Washington person's going to be there, but somebody with a FEMA jacket's going to be there that you can talk to. I don't know why. I think that's just like they do these reviews of how things went and try and maybe fix the next thing because, things went so well after Hurricane Katrina.
Listen, but kudos to them for they did come
I think
on
it's
the
a law.
show. They did come on the show. They got in the hot seat. They did those folks that were down here.
It cracks me up that to this day you're still defending that crew that came on the show.
The crew.
The show was still on. It was over there.
Met with people. Yeah, they were.
It was over there because they didn't have the booths in yet.
Yeah.
But they were jackballs, and nobody saw them after that. Nobody ever saw any of those guys after that. They were just
fake news right now.
It was a PR thing, is what that's what the government's all about. It's a PR thing.
That.
Anyway.
Listen, he said it.
So Mondays with the mayor's at 5 o'clock. So come on down to Diamond Head.
You just don't want to give anyone a fair shake. You're so opinionated.
Really? No, I just think that there's too much government. They get too big, and then they get in their own way when they're too big. There's not enough, as Chauncey Goss said, there's not enough brains on the ground. They had boots on the ground, but they didn't have any brains on the ground. They didn't have anybody that can make decisions like Kevin Guthrie.
Well, I'm sure they're going to be calling you right now. Would you like to join our team?
Me. Kevin Guthrie from the state, he was here. He was in the community, and he was making decisions. But anyway, and then the 28th, which there'll be none of this kind of crazy discussion.
No.
We are going to broadcast the event live on the 28th from Bayside Park, so we hope you can all come down. It starts at 9, so come down early. And then there is going to be some kind of unveiling of the clock. I haven't heard the details yet, but so there's going to be 9 o'clock here, and then some kind of unveiling of the clock, and then we're going to do a show here. But you may have already known that Revive the Vibe is going to be doing concert all day long. The road's going to be closed off and all that. So it's very busy next few weeks. So thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
We'll see you Monday night at the Diamond Head. Bye-bye.